Okay, we have
Oh,
a quorum of board
hang on
members.
a
Let's
second.
call the Node.js public board meeting to order.
Okay, great. We are now live and streaming. Todd, I believe you said that we have a quorum.
Yeah, we have a quorum, so let's call the board meeting to order.
Great. All right, so welcome to the public session of the Node.js Foundation December board meeting. For everybody who's joining us on the stream, on the screen right now, you can see the current board directory. If you have any questions on this, please let us know. I'd like to introduce Mike Dolan to do the agenda for the public meeting.
Okay, I think we have a few things we're going to be doing in terms of approving minutes, an update on staffing, some of the bylaws changes that we've been discussing previously. Miles will be providing a TSC update. We have got Tracy on for a ComCom update. And we have a couple other things. We're going to do a marketing update, and Sarah Conway from our team is here to provide that. And then I think we have a topic around events that we're going to sneak in as well, because we didn't get that to that in a prior meeting. So Brian, if you want to just move us forward. So real quick, we would like to congratulate Sarah Novotny. She could not be on for the public session, but due to a conflict, but she was elected the vice chairperson of the Node.js Foundation. So congratulations to Sarah on becoming the vice chairperson. In terms of the Linux Foundation staffing, we already updated the website, but it's important to note that Brian Warner has come on to help take over some of the program management and work on organizing some of the community things that are going on with Tracy Lee and with Jory. From both the Node.js and the JS side as we do some of the merger conversations. Brian's also helping to work with the board and other matters that we need to get done operationally. We have a few changes on the marketing side. Caitlin has come on to do the content curation work. So those of you who are working on the content side of things will likely be working with Caitlin, if not already. On the social media side, we have Amanda. She's been taking over that. And PR will be Rachel. And so Rachel's working on the various press releases that are up and coming. With that, I'll just move forward. We have the minutes from the prior public board meeting, which were included in as Exhibit 1. And I just want to see if there are any questions or comments on those. And if not, if somebody wants to make a motion to approve.
Okay, so a motion to approve the board minutes from October.
Seconded.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, and it says the minute in the resolution, obviously, when you have a typo in there right after.
Oh yeah, Brian, yeah, we need to correct that. That wasn't October. That was
the public meeting.
It says private.
Oh, but it also has the wrong.
It's got the wrong month.
The wrong month.
In the deck, right? Obviously, we're approving
my fault. I will correct that.
The previous one.
Yeah, the previous one, just hang on one second, I'll get it, was
September 2018.
September.
Title.
Yep.
It was September. Okay, so with the resolution modified to say September in public, Todd motion and Brian second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think some people might be on mute.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And any abstentions or any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. I think the first update here, Tracy, this is a long way coming. If you could maybe walk us through this ComCom update and what's going on there.
Yeah, no, I think this is just locking in some resolutions that we had passed on the ComCom side quite some time ago regarding our charter. And we just weren't able to get to it in the prior session that we had. So this, I believe, just makes sure that we've clarified, I think, some errors we had in the charter regarding the representative, the COMCOM director, as well as there being a separate chairperson, and that our terms are for 1 year.
Okay. Are there any questions for Tracy on the COMCOM update that's been proposed? The bylaws and the charter changes were provided as exhibits 2 and 3. I think these were pretty well vetted previously. If there are no questions or comments, does anybody want to make a motion?
So motioned.
Okay, the motion that the amendments to the bylaws and charter of the Community Committee attached as Exhibit 2 and 3 presented and filed with the minutes of this meeting are hereby adopted and approved. And that was Charlie making the motion. I think I heard right.
Correct.
Thanks, Charlie. Have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Todd. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Some people may be on mute still.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Brian, just to note, we'll have to make sure we revise the website content with the current versions.
Noted.
Okay, and then so next we have a TSC update from Miles. If I could pass the mic over to you.
Hello, how's everyone doing today? So we have a change that we're asking to be made to our charter about a potential conflict based on meeting frequency. So our charter currently states that there are weekly TSC meetings, and basically the change of the language here makes it a little bit more flexible for us so that we're not having our meeting frequency defined in our charter.
Okay, any questions for Miles on this?
Makes sense.
And the TSC is unanimous in this, Miles?
Yeah, if you go to the issue itself, it already has sign off and there is no concern within the TSC.
Okay, so Miles, we have a motion here that the amendments of the bylaws and charter of the Technical Steering Committee attached as Exhibit 4 presented and filed with the minutes of this meeting are hereby adopted and approved. Does anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thanks, Miles. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Brian. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Tracy, you might be on mute.
Oh, aye.
Thanks. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Miles, are there any other TSC updates, or is that it? I didn't mean to.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, there's some great work going on in the project. We do weekly, like in our weekly meetings, we have our strategic initiatives. And so I just want to let people know in general that if they're looking to get an update of what's going on latest at the TSC, those will be available in the meeting notes and also in the stream. As always, people can always ping me if they have questions.
Okay. And Miles, if I could put you on the spot, it's not, I think, here, but the Bootstrap Committee, how are things going there?
Yeah, things are moving along. The process where we're at right now is defining what top-level committees would exist within the foundation. So right now we're looking at a CPC, a core project council, which would represent the projects in the new foundation, and a C3, a cross-community council. Excuse me, and that council would be responsible, well, what they're responsible for is actually what we're working out right now. So if you go to github.com/nodejs/bootstrap and click on projects at the top, we've created a project board where we've started identifying responsibilities that would exist for top-level committees and entities within the foundation. and begun like kind of categorizing who would have those responsibilities, so we can start figuring out, what is the makeup of those committees? How do we define membership, and what would be the deliverables and success metrics? We've also recently defined a very, very clear process for creating proposals. Those proposals can be anything from governance to programs that we want to run. For example, I recently opened a proposal for creating a town hall that could be a regular cadence where the board and individual projects and people from the community can have discussions and ask questions. Anyone is able to open a proposal. There's a template to do so. And we're just, we've gotten to a point where we kind of have a process for how we start discussing new ideas. It's exciting seeing things move forward. We're feeling, like that we have really good velocity on this, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Okay. And if somebody who's listening in wants to get involved, what should they look for?
So for right now, anyone who has a commitment in any project within the Node.js organization or within any JSF project is welcome to join us on the weekly calls. They alternate between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern time. They're on the Node.js calendar. So if you go to nodejs.org/calendar, you can find them on there. There'll be agendas that are posted to the repo in advance. If you're not part of those groups that are invited to participate in the call, you are able to watch the stream live every week. You can also feel free to open issues within that repo or open pull requests with proposals and come and get involved.
All right. Any questions for Miles? Okay, thanks for the additional updates there, Miles, on the merger conversation. Brian, if we can move forward. Tracy, I think you're up next on the individual membership.
All right, so yeah, we've had quite a bit of a deadline this year when we kicked off the community committee, looking at what the individual membership program was, what it could be, and tangentially looking at how the director for individual membership, if it continued, could be effective. So the result of all of this work with the joint strategy committee and with the community committee and getting lots of input is that there's a recommendation for the individual membership program not only to continue, but to sort of relaunch. And the proposal here is for cutting the membership fee down to $10 a person annually. The idea here being that we want people who are engaged. So free membership can be really tough because historically, when you're giving away memberships or attendance for free, you'll get a lot of folks who will sign up and then never engage. And that's not really the intent of the individual membership program. But we also recognize that $100 could be a huge barrier to access for people who do care. So the potential members to focus on moving forward would be not only Node contributors, who are essential to the project and the ecosystem, but also engaged ecosystem developers not yet contributing to Node. They may not also contribute to Node in the long run in terms of the project repos itself. That doesn't mean that we're not, getting an advantage from that group, and that means that it's especially important to make sure that they feel a sense of ownership and inclusion to the work that we're doing. As part of this recommendation, the tooling for membership and elections has to be replaced. And so we do have recommendations on tooling that we would be able to use moving forward. As part of this, we also recognize that metrics, feedback gathering, and reporting is essential in order for us to be able to succeed on delivering value to the individual members moving forward. A big part of that is, I think, a lack of accountability and structure in place prior, and so we're building that into the program. Another thing to note here, we will have both of these proposals up in the repos. The community committee had been working this in documents just to make things easier for quick commenting and feedback before we had put it in the repos. But as we put those out, there are two separate proposals. So one is the individual membership program moving forward. It has been decoupled proposal-wise from the individual membership director. So the individual membership program could potentially exist without a director, although the community committee has made the recommendation that a director should exist, given a new caveat. And the new caveat is that we should be motivated as a group and a project to help build out the membership so that the folks who are engaged in giving us feedback, which is an essential component to this group, we need to have enough people in order to feel that that feedback is representative of the various concerns that we have amongst the ecosystem and the contributors. So the proposal is that we would need a minimum of 2,000 active members, and then an individual membership director would be, election would kick off. The individual membership director candidates would be nominated by members of the top level committees right now, that's ComCom and TSC. And then from that candidate list, all active members of the individual membership program would vote on the candidate of their choosing to sit on the board. Is there any questions? Cool. Yeah. So again, as I said, next steps is that we have to, not only will we have this in the repo as a README or draft, markdown, but then there has to be echoes of this in the bylaw and charter changes, which we'll see in GitHub shortly. It took a lot of time to get, I think, consensus on this work thus far, which is why we weren't able to get a resolution and the required bylaw or charter changes as part of that. I actually don't think if we keep both the program and the director, that I guess the threshold would be a change for the bylaws. But that said, just to bring this to mind, that also to address the elephant in the room, we do have the election that kicks off. Timing wise, nomination for the election of the individual membership director is scheduled to be December and January, currently filled by William Kapke. And that is something that we have to address. So I think the idea here is that we, from my own opinion, is that we're in a tough place here just because we've had some tooling constraints that has made the individual membership program difficult to administer in this year. And with the added challenge of the merger conversations, I was certainly curious as to what we should be doing about the election coming up.
So Tracy, maybe we should do an offline conversation and try to figure out a solution to the tooling issue and the timing. Is that all right if we try to do it that way?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm gonna the email resolutions right after this. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Just trying to keep us on time.
Yep.
All right. Any questions for Tracy? Okay, thanks for the update, Tracy. Brian, if you can move us forward.
Sure. So next on the agenda is just a brief discussion of 2019 events planning. The board will be reviewing a proposal for a major 2019 event. We're still very much in the early planning phases, so please don't anybody get excited about dates or locations. But just to give a general update, this is something that that the board will be contemplating. One of the things that we did want to bring up is the discussion about a spring collab summit. Miles has been working on this. Miles, would you like to say a few words about the planning here?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a bunch of different events happening in Berlin around JSConf.eu. So JSConf.eu will be June 1st and 2nd. And we're planning a collaborator summit on May 30th and 31st. And the TC39 will actually be doing a meeting the week after. The time of JSConf.eu ends up being a great time where collaborators from across the world are all in one place at the same time. And I think the timing around this is also really great to get people from across different projects in the foundation that we're intending to merge with both stakeholders from the JSF project and the Node.js Foundation. We're really excited to kind of bring everyone together. So last year we had done venues that were donated, and we really, really appreciate the work that had been done in the space that was donated. It was excellent, but there are a handful of different complications that come up from getting a donated venue. One of them, for example, is we weren't able to get the same venue for both days, and we didn't necessarily have the exact kind of space requirements that we wanted. It also makes us harder to get travel visas for individuals who are coming for the Collaborator Summit. Since we're not actually sponsoring an event, it gets more complicated. So we put together, the team from Nearform, the events team, did some amazing research, and we really appreciate it. And they went through and reached out to a number of different venues within Berlin and found us a series of different venues. The prices came in from between $20,000 US to $37,000 US. And the request that we have to the board right now is to provide a budget up to $30,000, which we want to try to offset by corporate sponsorship. We have received corporate sponsorship in the past for Collaborator Summits, but we would love to get this budget approved so that we can start finding venues and locking them down. Because if we wait too much longer, A, the prices are going to go up, and B, we may not even be able to get a space.
Well, this seems like a great thing to support. So I think that if you make the motion, we should all be able to approve it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Excellent. I'd like to make a motion to approve a budget up to $30,000 to support the Spring Collaborator Summit.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Miles, for walking us through that. The other part that Brian kind of skipped over is the event location. We'll try to maybe push this off to offline over email. But we are also looking at, possibly it working through the social media channels to try to figure out if we can leverage the community to help us identify an ideal date. So we'll try to cover that via email with everyone. Okay, if we can move forward, Brian. So Sarah, we're running low on time, but if you can give us a brief update on what's going on the marketing front, that would be helpful. Sarah, it looks like you're on mute still. There you are. I just unmuted you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Great. I know we're short on time, but I'll try to go quickly here. For our Node blog, we have some of the blogs that appeared this month and the views, and we continue to get good submissions and contributions from the community to help supplement and keep this cadence up. So thank you for that. You can move forward. We put out our monthly Node Everywhere newsletter, strong focus on the conference that wrapped up and some of the other news that we've had lately, but this did well, and you can see all the data and stats on that newsletter. I believe many of you might be aware that we've been putting together field guides on how to help users get started with Node and navigate new scenarios where they might want to be using Node. And in that vein, we have the second one, which is about serverless. The first one was published mid-year, but the second one really is looking at working with a lot of different subject matter experts in the community, as well as some cross-pollination with the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, which is active in serverless. And so that is expected to publish hopefully by the end of January. Another great case study that's appeared and published, and we've been able to get some press around this as well. So if anyone ever has end user stories that they would love to be told and promoted through the foundation marketing channels, feel free to bring that to us. On the social front, again, strong growth and activity. We have our new social team in place, and it continues to grow in terms of engagement and followers. So here are some of the highlights and which posts have been and content is doing really well. On the comm side, and with some of that content that we are producing and managing, there's the Node Foundation Medium blog, as well as the Node collection on Medium, and all of those channels are continuing to do well, gain followers, shared content across the Medium network is all going strong. Some new initiatives.
Sorry.
Anyway, we also have some speaking bureau activity that's been introduced and is doing well as well, in addition to the Medium collection. So with member and community spotlights, here are some of the latest stats across YouTube and Medium, just showing what we're doing in those areas. And I believe that might be the end. I know I went through it very quickly in light of the time, but always happy to take questions either here or by email afterward.
Hey, any questions for Sarah? Okay, I think we're out of time. I don't know if there's any questions coming in through YouTube or if that's even a possibility, but I don't know if Miles is, or Brian, if you're able to see that.
Let's check real quick.
I'll also ask the other board members if there's any other topics we didn't cover or any other points to make before we wrap up.
It doesn't appear so, Mike, so I think we can effectively call the meeting to a close.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for
Thank you
joining
all.
and participating. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Bye.